our world changes, we'll keep you up to date. News Talk KVNU, 102 FM, 610 AM. Also on the new KVNU mobile app.
KVNU News Time is 5:05. I'm Bill Walter with this news update brought to you by Roof Rescue. A 58-year-old Logan man has admitted to sexually assaulting 2 women during the past 3 years. Carl's James Bassett was originally booked into the Cache County Jail last January and later released on pretrial supervision. Bassett appeared Monday afternoon in First District Court for a status hearing. He accepted a plea deal, pleading guilty to 2 counts of forcible sexual abuse, a third-degree felony. Defense attorney Michael McGinnis explained how, as part of the agreement, prosecutors agreed not to seek a prison term at the time of sentencing. They also dropped 2 remaining charges. Last year, Logan City police officers received a report of a sexual assault involving a family relative of Bassett. Several weeks later, another victim described being sexually abused in a similar way in 2019. Police had investigated Bassett for similar allegations years ago. He was arrested and charged with forcible sexual abuse and battery in 2013. He later accepted a plea deal and was sentenced to 5 days in jail and 12 months probation. During Monday's hearing, Judge Angela Fonsbeck ordered Bassett to complete a pre-sentence report with probation agents about his criminal history. She scheduled a sentencing hearing for January 30th. KVNU News Time is 5:06. KVNU weather for tonight. Partly cloudy this evening, then mostly cloudy skies, low near 15. Cloudy tomorrow, around 40, and then by tomorrow night, a little bit windy, south winds gusting to 25 miles an hour. Slight chance of snow in the evening, then a chance of snow after midnight. Snow likely Sunday morning, rain and snow in the afternoon. High around 40 on Sunday. It's been to 34. Right now it's 29 at KVNU. KVNU weather brought to you by Top Job Asphalt. They specialize in asphalt paving and maintenance as well as concrete installation and repair. Trusted in Cache Valley for over 15 years.
This is David from Roof Rescue. A roof is not something most people think about until they notice a leak on the ceiling. This time of year, fluctuation in temperatures, along with rain, snow, and ice, can do a number on your roof. If you notice these leaks, they won't go away on their own and are oftentimes a sign that the roof has reached the beginning of the end of its life. Call Roof Rescue for a free analysis, diagnosis, and estimate. Let's fix those leaks and keep you dry this winter. Call 435-999-4268 or visit roofrescueusa.com. Roof Rescue, providing watertight peace of mind.
KVNU News Time is 5:08. Less than a month after Lori Vallow Daybell was found competent to stand trial again, she appeared in court with her husband Chad Daybell, and a new trial date was set. The Daybells will begin their 10-week trial on April 3rd after it was postponed from January 2023. On October 6th, Judge Stephen Boyce issued a ruling that the trial would be vacated until Lori's competency could be determined. That ruling was lifted on November 16th. Both Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow Daybell have pleaded not guilty in connection to the deaths of 7-year-old J.J. Vallow and 17-year-old Tylee Ryan, Lori's children, along with Chad's late wife, Tammy Daybell. Utah State Aggie men's basketball is on the road this weekend in Las Vegas. They will face Loyola Marymount for a late-night game Saturday night, tip-off at 10:30. Al Lewis will be talking about it on game day with former Aggie great Jalen Moore at 9:30 Saturday night here on KVNU. News time is 5:09. For more details on these and other stories, visit CacheValleyDaily.com.
Keeping you informed. News Talk KVNU, 610 AM, 102.1 FM, and online at 610KVNU.com.
Cares for Christmas is dedicated to helping families this holiday season. In Family 4, a single mother is living with her 4 kids on a limited income. She'd like shirts, shoes, and lotion. Some needs for her kids are coats, pants, and socks. For more information, go to caresforchristmas.org. That's caresforchristmas.org. And thanks for caring this Christmas.
Not sure what to give for a holiday gift for family or employees? How about a gift card to Beehive Pub and Grill? Receive a voucher for a free gelato with a $25 gift card purchase, or a voucher for a free burger or sandwich of your choice with a $50 gift card purchase. Take care of your coworkers, employees, and family with a gift card from Beehive Pub and Grill. Open 11 to 8:30 weekdays and 11 to 9 Friday and Saturday. Beehive Pub and Grill is perfect for the holidays.
I'm Ed Horrell, author of The Kindness Revolution. I've got a little suggestion for you this week. Take a moment to visit a classroom somewhere. If it takes going to an open house at a school, a PTA meeting, or simply making an appointment to meet with your child's teacher, do it. And while you're there, make it a point to say thank you to as many of the faculty and staff that are supporting the futures of these kids. To learn more, check us out at thekindnessrevolution.net.
It was a normal day.
He was in some minor accident, a fender bender.
And I had this impulse to call him, but I didn't, because I thought I could call him later that week.
He abandoned the car, he came home, and he shot himself without ever talking to anyone.
When I came home that night and I found her, they told me that she had shot herself, and I couldn't believe it.
I asked if he was okay.
Taking a gun into your house for protection is a terrible myth.
Once you pull that trigger, that's it. There is no coming back.
65 Americans a day die by gun suicide. Store your gun securely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammunition. Help stop suicide. Learn more at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
I miss the desert. I miss the sea. And I miss waking up every morning, wondering what wonderful adventure the new day will bring to us.
Those days have come and gone.
Perhaps. Perhaps not.
But a few times in my life, I've seen things I can't explain. And I've come to believe it's not so much what you believe. It's how hard you believe it.
Welcome to the For the People Movie Show. Just a little clip there from the just-released Indiana Jones 5. To save time, that's what we'll call it here on the show. It's the For the People Movie Show with Andy Morgan joining us here in the studio.
You're not going to call it the Dial of Destiny, which is the actual official title?
Only thing I don't like about it. What I loved about watching that trailer was it is so not Indiana Jones 4.
Yeah. No. Well, as far
Galaxy of the Crystal Skull.
Let's
or whatever
be fair.
that was.
I'm excited. You know, I'm excited.
This one
but
looks.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate and say, when we saw the trailer for Indiana 4, we didn't go, well, that looks like it's gonna be real screwball comedy.
We were very excited about it.
I hope there's a guy named Mutt.
Although, do you know what though? I remember though, you and I think Dan, your friend Dan, was still coming in to do the show then, and he. The three of us all agreed before you guys saw that George Lucas's involvement had you nervous because of the prequels.
Well, see, and I think that's what's going on here is I'm pretty sure, not 100% sure, but pretty sure that, so it was written and directed by James Mangold, who somebody out there's like, who?
Not George Lucas.
No, he did Logan, the Wolverine movie from a few years back. Yeah, he did Walk the Line with...
Also good.
Yeah. So I mean, he's got some chops. He did Ford versus Ferrari. That was probably I think his most recent movie.
It was all right.
So this is
Days of Thunder with accents.
This is a capable guy.
But I think Lucas was like, "Look, fine, I won't write it, but I get to name the movie." And they were like, "That's fine." And then on the day they were gonna like put out the trailer, they got an email that said, "Here's the title," and then they opened it up and they were like, "Aw." That was a bad deal. Billy D. Williams was like, "This deal is getting worse all the time." Anyhow, I'll tell you right now, I'm excited for that. Disney dropped a bunch.
It does look good. It looks like it almost looks like well, so I'm nervous that, spoiler alert for James Bond fans, I'm nervous there's going to be the last James Bond movie we saw. I'm nervous that's going to be part of this too. I think they're going to kill Indy off.
I don't think he's going to die. That would be too brutal. Plus, he already died in Star Wars, and nobody needs that again.
The trailer hints at it, I think. Which honestly, if I was going to make a trailer for this, I'd probably hint at that too.
Here's what
it'll get people to see it more.
I think. Let's talk about these two things combined, because I think Indiana Jones is probably the closest thing. It's American James Bond. Granted, far less movies, but I'm sure that at some point, in the 60s and 70s, they were like, well, I guess maybe this will end after Connery, right? And then oh, never mind, here's Roger Moore. Oh, by the way, here's Timothy Dalton. Weird pick. And
that didn't work?
Yeah. Hey, we were wondering if you guys could get a dude that just looks like a janitor.
Extremely generic
he has a hair
British
that you're
guy.
not sure if it's a toupee or what.
So
also,
what we want to make is the most dated James Bond movie ever.
We want one that looks like
this guy was only popular in 1987.
Every time you see him, you're wondering, did he shave or not? We don't know. we need somebody that, like, his 5 o'clock shadow is always at 5 o'clock. Always. Even if he shaves, he's like, whoop, there it is again.
I heard a really funny quote about this once. That someone said, it was a movie critic that said, the most memorable thing about Dalton's James Bond is that more people remember he was James Bond at all ever, not from the movie, but from the Duran Duran video that aired on MTV forever.
I think, I think more people remember him from Beautician and the Beast. View to Kill. That actually that's a great one.
That was
that was when they brought Tanya Roberts in too. They were like, "You liked her in Sheena. Now see her as."
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and it had Grace Jones. Remember when Grace Jones was the thing in 1985?
Yeah, that was a weird little celebrity moment, huh?
And it had Christopher Walken. I forgot that he was the villain.
Grace Jones I always thought was cool, but Grace Jones, anyone out there who knows Grace Jones is and remembers her moment, her 15 minutes, which was actually a few years, tell me why she got famous in the first place without Googling it. No one knows.
She was
she was just there.
You just nailed it.
And we were told she was a celebrity, and we were like, okay.
She was also in Conan the Destroyer.
Yeah.
Remember where they were like, not enough people went to see the other one that was R-rated. What if we did a PG-13 one? You should go and watch that. There is some strange casting in that. And,
that's a weird.
It also has it has James Earl Jones is in the first one. It has Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain is in it.
You know what Conan needs? A pop culture celebrity.
That's right.
That'll make it work.
How about Grace Jones and Wilt Chamberlain?
Yeah.
I forgot though.
She is actually the only cool part of that movie.
Well, I forgot that Christopher Walken was the villain in A View to a Kill. And they really missed it. That was when he kind of. I think Christopher. This is my theory.
It's the first time Christopher Walken wasn't Christopher Walken.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Weird. I think Christopher Walken is kind of like Jeff Bridges. I think like if you go back to 2008 and you watch Jeff Bridges prior to that, watch Iron Man
Overboard,
and he's all he's talking normal. He's like, Tony Stark built this in a cave, and you're like, oh, that's Jeff Bridges. And then literally, like, here's what I think happened. I think he got the script for Crazy Heart, and he's like, I'm gonna sound like a drunk cowboy now, And then how like when you're a kid, if you pulled a face, right, and somebody said if they slapped you on the back, your face would stay that way. Did you ever get that? That's what happened. Somebody slapped Jeff Bridges on the back, and he was like, no, I can't go back. And then they were like, well, good news. True Grit is next year. Don't stop.
Yeah.
And then later, when they wanted to put him in other things, he was like, this isn't working. And it's the same thing with Christopher Walken. He was he was a normal talking guy. And then one day he was like, hey.
That was...
Whoa, I need more cowbell. And then somebody hit him on the back, and now he can't stop. And same thing with Al Pacino.
But what was weird about the Walken role in James Bond is he would have been a great villain as Christopher Walken. And they had him downplay it for some reason.
He was Max Schreck.
Yeah.
Max Schreck is...
So he kind of came across as less Christopher Walken.
That was Batman Returns.
Yeah, that's the other one.
I'd like to apologize to the readership or listenership.
I actually like Bridges when he plays the muted... This is
like Starman?
This is a spoiler. Yeah, this is a spoiler for the movie, so no one will see this. It was in Logan for like a week. It was really good, though.
What is this?
There was I call them Quentin Tarantino ripoffs. You have these other directors that basically try to make a Quentin Tarantino film, and sometimes they're better than him. So that's basically what this was. It's called Bad Times at the El Royale.
Oh, yeah.
There's a murder mystery set at a hotel
with Chris Hemsworth.
in the sticks of Colorado up in the woods. It was actually really good. It's a great mystery, but spoiler alert, Jeff Bridges is the bad guy. But he plays this soft-spoken, closet alcoholic priest.
So really...
And he is so good as a muted bad guy that way. So back to Indiana Jones, that's what... So everything I've been reading about this one, I think they're going to do that. I think this is not going to be an over-the-top villain like Crystal Skull.
Well, have you looked at the casting, though? There's people in this that we really don't identify in the trailer. So one that I saw him and I thought, is that who I think it is? And it was Antonio Banderas.
Yeah. Who's disappeared for years.
Yeah. Well,
but he's back.
He's just been in a lot of low key, you know what I mean? He's actually been in some
true.
He's been in some stuff that has actually got him critical acclaim, but just nobody's seeing it. But it's also got Mads Mikkelsen, who's great. Antonio Banderas, and then this guy, I'm going to say his name and no one's going to know who I'm talking about. But if you saw him, you'd go, "Oh, that guy." His name is Boyd Holbrook, and this is Boyd Holbrook. He's been in movies where he is kind of if he plays a good guy, he's one of those good guys where you're like, I don't know if I want to like you or not. But he's typically always better as the bad guy. It's got Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Oh, really?
Which is an interesting casting. Yes. And then there's other ones.
That's kind of phenomenal.
Here's the thing. I don't know. Some of this I don't know if I believe, because I went through this on IMDb and I also went through Google. And now I know Toby Jones is in it. And again, Toby Jones is a name where somebody will go, who? But then you see him and go, oh, that guy.
Yeah.
It has listed Brad Pitt. It's got Brad Pitt listed.
Yeah, and Sean Connery.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting. So we'll see what happens here. But I mean, this, everybody loves Indiana Jones, and what I would like to see, Jason, is I would like to see them do with Indiana Jones what they do with James Bond. Is I feel like the character lends himself, the franchise lends itself. Let me back up. Like Star Wars, it's never not going to go on, right?
Yeah,
they'll pick somebody and he will be the new Indiana Jones, and it'll go on.
Good Lord, Toby Jones is in everything.
Isn't he, right?
He's hundreds of movies.
Yeah, he's the British Samuel L. Jackson.
That's interesting. I mean, because he's a really memorable character.
He's the British Liam Neeson.
And he's been good guys, bad guys. He's usually, more of these look like comedic roles, but...
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I also think
I had no idea he was so prolific.
I'm going to make
hundreds of movies.
I'm going to make a prediction.
Okay,
a bold prediction, and then we got a lot of movies to talk about.
Yeah, we should probably get to it. Actually, we
won't take a ton of time because some of these, I'll talk about the ones that are playing here in the Valley, and then what you have to look forward to in the next few weeks,
which is a lot.
It's almost Christmas time, or it is. I mean, technically Christmas time, but we're almost to that point. And also next Friday, little teaser here. Next Friday when we have the show, I'll be coming in and I'll be revealing my year-end ballot as per normal. And
before submission, right?
And no, I'll have submitted
You'll
at that
have
point.
submitted
But I
by
will
then,
also
okay.
talk about our nominations. The Utah Film Critics Society votes on the year's best a week from Saturday, so December 17th.
Okay.
But here's my bold prediction. So Avatar, if Avatar, when it lands next week in theaters, over the course of its run, if it becomes a box office behemoth,
do you have a prediction on that? Because it has to.
I think.
I mean, this will be one of the most memorable flops ever if it flops.
And here's the thing,
because Cameron has built it up so much.
With the exception of Terminator 2 and the exception of Aliens, a lot of movies that James Cameron, starting with Titanic and then going into Avatar, everyone always predicted. Those movies were predicted to be massive flops.
And they never were.
And they both are in the top 5 highest grossing movies of all time. So
I remember everyone saying when the first Avatar was coming out, other than Sigourney Weaver in it, a lot of people were going, what is James Cameron thinking? Did you see the budget on this?
Yeah.
Who wanted this?
Yeah.
No one cares.
Yeah.
And then it was this huge commercial success.
Yep. My prediction is he has not. There is the potential, I think, but I really believe, and this leads into my bolder prediction. I think Avatar's. I'm not going to say where it lands, but it's going to make a lot of money. Enough
I think so.
to make noise.
Most people will see it one time because they got to know.
Well,
right?
yeah, and it's going to bleed over into next year, right? Because
Sure.
it's a pre-Christmas release, but it's going to move into January.
hang into January.
So you're going to have some that's going to move the box office up this year, but I think the lion's share will probably come as it trickles in, like the first Avatar.
Is it being released simultaneously around the world? Because I predict this will also be huge in other countries.
I'll have to check that. Yeah, well,
because the first Avatar, it still holds a record in Japan, right?
For worldwide box office.
Oh,
period.
worldwide. Okay.
Yeah, it's still number one. But here's what I'll say. I believe it's going to set the tone. And I will put money on. Maybe I won't say that. I will risk being ridiculed.
Poked fun at.
Yeah, there you go.
Mildly traded.
I think 2023 will be the biggest box office year on record.
Really?
I do.
Overall.
It
does.
It's going to be a huge catapult from where the struggles they've had with post-COVID, but I think the post-COVID stuff has been, hey, all this crap we wanted to release before, we're just going to drop it.
I really
dropping
wish,
our ordinance.
I wish we could re-release just to see what happens. Maybe it wouldn't work.
Tenet?
Dune's one. Tenet's another one. There are a couple from 2021, like Dune, Tenet, that really make me wonder what would have happened if they would have sat on them for a year. Because Dune
both
did
great
well.
movies.
Dune did well,
yeah,
and it more than tripled its money what it cost to make. So it did.
They're
really
filming the second one right now.
But I'm wondering if fall of 2023, right? Is that for Dune Part 2?
Maybe, I don't know.
I'm curious, but I wonder if it would have been, because you mentioned this just seconds ago, and I was thinking this earlier too. This summer, this coming year, 2023. Maybe overall, but I'm talking mainly the trailers we've seen for what are going to be those summer movies.
Well, you've got
it feels like that year of the last Avengers movie. Wasn't that the year we had the Avengers movie? We had. I mean, it's just.
I think in 2019, it
was like every week.
Weirdly,
there was this
you know what's funny about that?
I went to more movies that year than I think I have since.
That year made a lot of money, but that still is not the biggest box office year. The biggest box office year is 2015, because you had.
What year was that?
That was Force Awakens.
Oh, okay.
But you didn't just have Force Awakens. You had Jurassic World.
Yeah.
You had, Guardians, I think was the year. Anyway.
Force Awakens started in December, but made most of its money in January, February, and March. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I thought that was so weird.
Oh, yeah. You've got Avatar. I mean, that's what makes a blockbuster is how long can it stay?
Oh yeah,
and not number one.
Force Awakens was
in
pulling in
top 5,
tens of millions of dollars in weekends in March.
So
for
I think
a December release.
I think we can go through this in detail, a little bit later. But I do really believe, that Avatar is going to kind of slingshot, and then you've got things like Ant-Man, you've got
I kind of feel like this is Marvel's
Guardians.
This is Marvel's revival year.
I 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. So it's going to be interesting, but we got a few things to talk about. To give everyone a little teaser. Let me just pull up the movie listings here. We have Devotion, which came out the week of Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about that. Excuse me. We're going to talk about. I got to talk to you about
Pinocchio,
Bones and All.
Oh,
I'm not 100% sure if that's still here, and if it is, lucky you.
This is on my list to see. I hope it's still here. I haven't had a chance yet.
You know what?
Mainly because I saw a critic I really liked describe it as beautiful, and then I went back and read the plot again, and I thought, huh?
No, it is. It's and we need. I can't remember if did we talk about Spirited?
Cannibal romance.
I can't remember if we talked about Spirited.
We talked a little bit about it because you said that Will Ferrell is a little much sometimes.
Yeah. So what's still playing? We got to talk Devotion. I want to talk about Bones and All. The Fabelmans is actually opened up
finally.
Any
word on why it took weeks to get here?
No idea. Spirit is playing. These are all playing in Providence, by the way. Devotion is actually playing over. The Menu is still here, but Top Gun still playing. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, that's still here. But there's a few, and then there's some stuff that's coming up. But yeah, and then also the surprise hit. I shouldn't say surprise, like we kind of knew it, but Violent Night.
Yeah. I am surprised, honestly. On the people are liking this.
Well, and there's some other things too that are on that are streaming that are opening up today that have opened up the last few weeks. There's a Will Smith movie if you have Apple TV Plus subscription called Emancipation. I really actually feel I shouldn't say I feel bad for him, but you know, he was making that movie obviously before the Oscars incident last year. So he wins Best Actor, which is, you know, kind of a dream come true for him. But now he's banned from the Oscars for 10 years, regardless of what he puts out there.
Yeah.
So he can
Which he himself has said, I probably deserve that.
I understand why after reading his biography, but it still doesn't make it, you know.
Yeah.
It makes sense, but it doesn't really matter in the long run.
No. I personally, I think what would be both career changing for Chris Rock, not that he deserves a career revival in my opinion, but because he's so bad. But stop acting, Chris. But I think that a good way for this to kind of end this whole slap thing, I'd like to see Chris Rock just come out and say, you know what, forget it.
Yeah,
let him back in.
Write a letter to
the past.
Yeah,
we've talked.
Chris Rock just looks like that guy that is always trying to be annoying and like bug you.
Yeah,
and people like that deserve to be slapped.
Although he has one of my favorite jokes that I still quote all the time when you're talking about someone who doesn't know what they're talking about, and the joke ends with him shouting 2 + 2 = Jell-O. Takes too long to get into it, or I would, but because it is that funny. But all right, more of the For the People movie show. Everything you can see in theaters here in Logan, which, Andy, I checked while we were talking there, and unfortunately Bones and All is gone from Logan. Still playing in Ogden.
Left the building.
You can see it at the Junction, probably for another week, I would guess, and we'll talk about it. And many, many other things, including Avatar 2 and more, the new trailer, how people are reacting to that, streaming services, as Andy mentioned. But first, a look at the news with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. KVNU News brought to you by Northern Steel Buildings. The Utah Bureau of Criminal Identification verified 96 hate crimes in 2021. June 2021 reported 31 incidents with a hate crime bias, making it the highest month for this crime category. Of those 31, 13 fit in a category within the LGBT community. 11 of those 13 were either a larceny or destruction or vandalism of property. Director of Communications Hillary Kellner said the highest type of crime that occurred in 2021 with a hate crime bias was destruction or vandalism of property, which represents 34 of 96 incidents, or 35% of incidents reported with a hate crime bias. The second highest category would be simple assaults. Simple assaults represent 22 of 96 incidents. The top 5 categories with hate crime incidents last year were anti-LGBTQ, anti-Hispanic or Latino, anti-Black or African American, anti-Asian, and anti-Mormon. Friends and family at a Salt Lake area vigil voiced their anger from this week's sentencing for a Hunter High School teen who shot and killed 2 fellow students in January. Around 50 to 70 people gathered outside the Salt Lake County District Attorney's office. They held candles, signs, and a banner that read, "You failed us." Organizers chose the location so all the drivers in and out of the building could see and hear them. People at the vigil chanted, "No justice, no peace." The vigil comes nearly a year after a teenager shot and killed 14-year-old Tavani Lopati and 15-year-old Paul Tahi. The shooting happened near Hunter High in West Valley City. The suspect, who was 14 at the time, also shot and injured another student. On Monday, the shooter was sentenced to 6 years in a juvenile detention center with a chance for parole. Family of the victims feel this sentence was a slap on the wrist. Family and friends said although the case is over, their fight for justice is not. Logan High School boys basketball tonight on KVNU. Grizzlies back in action as they host Century of Idaho at 7 o'clock in the Grizzly Den. Jason Walker with the call here on KVNU. We'll be on the air at 6:45 with pregame. KVNU weather brought to you by Logan Dental Associates in Logan and Cherry Creek Dental in Richmond. Do you have health benefits that need used before the end of the year? Make your appointment now with Dr. Taylor, Dr. Larson, Harris, or Preby at Logan Dental Associates or Cherry Creek Dental. Partly cloudy this evening, then mostly cloudy, low near 15. Just cloudy on Saturday is the forecast, high around 40. Then a bit windy Saturday night, winds out of the south gusting to 25 miles an hour and a slight chance of snow, about a 40% chance of snow after midnight. Snow likely Sunday morning, rain and snow in the afternoon, and a high around 40. It was 34 today. You can always get more news at CashValleyDaily.com.
We might all agree that a vacation to Vegas is good, but Hawaii is better. Same thing when you're building. Wood is good, but metal is better. If you're considering a new building for your farm or business, let Northern Steel Building show you the benefits of metal. Metal is stronger with little or no maintenance, and it doesn't burn. Find out how affordable a metal building really is by visiting northernsteelbuilding.com. That's northernsteelbuilding.com or call 435-677-7300.
Dr. Josh Red, chiropractic physician, explains how Red River Health and Wellness can help you.
If you have low thyroid and you're taking thyroid medication, the biggest question you should ask yourself is what's causing my low thyroid specifically? If you don't know the answer to that question, it's important to call us. At Red River, we identify triggers that will cause the low thyroid to begin with. One of the most common causes of low thyroid is a disease called Hashimoto's disease. This is an autoimmune disease that is a lot more complicated than just a primary thyroid issue. This is why people will be on thyroid hormone but still feel little to no improvement because nothing's being done to address the bigger, more complicated problem, which is Hashimoto's. If you have low thyroid or you have an autoimmune disease and you're on medication and still don't feel well, call Red River.
Schedule your appointment today at 855-55-RIVER. Red River Health and Wellness with offices in Logan, South Jordan, Springville, and St. George.
Call Red River today.
Happy holidays from Birch Creek Golf Course. For your golfer this Christmas, I invite you to visit birchcreekgolf.com. Birch Creek's online store offers punch passes that are on sale at the spring sale price, as well as driving range passes and discounted golf lessons from our PGA teaching staff. So for your golfer this Christmas, I invite you to visit birchcreekgolf.com and enjoy Birch Creek's virtual online store. And happy holidays from your friends at Birch Creek.
Daryl's Appliance is feeling the Christmas spirit and wants to spread some cheer. Join them December 17th to enter to win a KitchenAid stand mixer and other prizes at Daryl's during their in-store event. Get some hot cocoa and a picture with their special guests, Santa and Mrs. Claus. They have Christmas specials all December on GE, Whirlpool, and other appliances. Plus, get 12 months interest-free financing and Daryl's famous service that backs every sale. Only at Daryl's, west on Airport Road.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
We cannot let you bring your war here.
Outcast. That's all they see.
I see.
The way of water connects all things. Before your birth and after your death.
This is our home!
I need you with me. And I need you to be strong.
Welcome back to the For the People movie show. What you've heard there is just a few seconds of the final, before release, Avatar 2, The Shape of Water. No, I'm kidding.
I was going to say,
but wouldn't it be funny
at
if
the
they
end of
did
that, I wanted to say, Ohana means family. I don't know why. That just popped into my head.
I think they should have gone with The Shape of Water just to confuse
The Shape
people.
of Water.
Just throw it
Wait,
out there.
what's going on here?
See if anybody knows.
He just he swims by. No,
he's got a cameo.
I gotta be
Still
honest with
in
you.
love.
That whole Avatar thing, when I watched that in 2009, I remember seeing the trailers and thinking, it's James Cameron. It looks kind of cool, but what's with the giant blue aliens? And then you watch it, and for some reason, and I don't know why, I cannot still to this day put my finger on it, because I get all the criticisms.
Sure.
I think they're lazy criticisms.
Yeah.
I think people are like, it's just like Ferngully. Well, great. Well, Star Wars is just like this.
Star Wars is a fairy tale.
Yeah, I mean, everything has
those themes been done before.
That was the other. You know what? I'm sorry. I completely spaced this. That was the other movie we needed to talk about. In fact, I want to talk about this right now because it just reflamed up into my mouth, and I have to talk about it.
I can tell you're angry.
Not angry. So I believe it's on Netflix today. I'm going to let you check that because I don't have
ready to Google.
I just have my tiny phone here. It's Guillermo. Pardon my poor pronunciation. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Stop action.
It's on Netflix. Stop motion animation. Beautiful. I mean, animation is it's an artwork. It's a beauty in and of itself. But when you're doing the stop motion, it's just another level. And I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. But here's my thing. I'm gonna ridicule this movie while also saying it's great.
Really,
it really is. You need to. It's great. I don't know where it's gonna land. I got to do some more pondering here. I don't know where it's gonna land in my top animated movies of the year. Because like Wendell and Wild on Netflix is great.
That was good.
Turning Red is great. But I will say that I don't like Pinocchio as a character, period. I never liked him as a Disney character.
Yeah.
And Walt Disney, everybody knows this. Walt Disney took these fairy tales and stories that were kind of a little darker, and he always he polished them up. Made them
like Pinocchio.
Yeah,
the original Pinocchio story is
it's actually depressing.
Yeah,
and Guillermo del Toro does not give you the polished version. He gives you the and for the listeners,
he said he wanted to de-Disneyfy the story.
Yeah, and
that was in an interview recently.
Basically, Geppetto, in this little Italian village, he has a son named Carlo, the best boy that ever lived, and Carlo dies tragically. and it just rips Geppetto apart. And Geppetto, it doesn't really say how much time goes by, but enough for a tree to grow.
Yeah,
and
it's decades.
Yeah, he cuts down the tree that was planted with Carlo's perfect pine cone, which, by the way, little trivia here, Pinocchio in Italian means pine nut. I did not know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so now when I'm in Disneyland, I'm going to be like, where can I find the little pine nut?
Where's the pine nut shop?
Where's the pine nut? Anyhow, so, he's drunk.
With the nose.
He's drunk, and he
shouting at
takes
some
the
guy
tree home and carves
shouting at some guy in a goofy costume. You know what I'm talking about? Pine nut.
He takes this tree home and he carves it into a little boy, and it's not like this polished clean lines, like little red suspender wearing dude from little
it's a
lederhosen.
It's a hastily chiseled.
It's nightmare fuel.
Block of wood with creepy eyes.
It's the kind of thing that if it came alive, I would probably.
If it stepped out of your closet, you would scream.
You'd have been like, "Well, I'm burning the house down.
Done.
Why did I do that?" Anyhow,
you can see that pine nut.
And I also realized something too. The other reason I hate Pinocchio is he's like Italian Caillou. Is really what he boils down to. He's just he's just horrible. He's whiny. You know what I mean?
That's the best.
I want to shoot him into the sun. So
even as a kid, the animated Disney, I thought he was kind of an unlikable hero.
I don't even know if I wouldn't.
I was more.
I think you'd be generous with the hero.
Show more of the cricket. So that's one thing I'm excited about this one. Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor is the
as
voice.
Jiminy Cricket,
Yeah.
and then we should also point out Jiminy Cricket's different in the original story and this
Sebastian
film
J.
version.
Cricket.
He's kind of. He's kind of a jerk.
Yeah, he's a little bit more.
In the Disney version, he's helpful and.
Yeah, and he sings songs. Well, there's songs in this. Here's the cool thing. The cast in this is really great because, like you said, you have Ewan McGregor, who is the voice of Jiminy Cricket, as we all know him, or in this, Sebastian J. Cricket. It also has the voice of Christoph Waltz, is the voice of, I don't remember the character's name, but the creepy carnival head, the
Barker.
Yeah, that guy. I'm trying to think of some others. Oh, Ron Perlman. He's like, I don't got any work, Guillermo. And he's like, well, you did do a good job as Hellboy.
Twice.
Come on back. I got a small part for you. You can do the voice of the fascist.
I thought that was funny. Is there a role more perfectly designed for Ron Perlman than Hellboy?
Yeah, probably not. No. And then here's the one that this is the one I couldn't get past. I really had to train my brain. I can't think of the actor's name off the top of my head.
John Turturro?
No. It's the gentleman that plays Walder Frey in Game of Thrones and the creepy janitor in
Finn.
Harry Potter. And he
is it Finn something?
No. That Finn Wolfhard is the voice of the
that's right.
of a boy, but I can't. It's David something. I can't remember his last name. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Bradley.
We'll just say Walder Frey.
Yeah.
And it's really hard for me to dial into Geppetto when all I hear is Walder Frey's voice. He's like, I'll find another.
If you watch Game of Thrones, he was such a creepster.
And that's
on that show
that's
too.
part of it. I was like, Geppetto, gross.
Yeah.
It's going to have the red wedding in Pinocchio. Anyhow, so beautiful movie. I have to give it high marks, although I do hate Pinocchio. And it honestly, that little Pinocchio puppet that he makes is straight up nightmare fuel. So I don't know if it's a show that, like, I'll be honest with you, it's PG, but I don't know what kids. I wouldn't show it to your younger.
You wouldn't think it'd be a pleasant experience.
Your younger kids are gonna
5-year-old.
think it's the most boring thing. Like, tell me if I'm wrong, but I remember when I was a kid and I was really into like cartoons, and somebody's like, "Have you watched Secret of Nim?" And I was like, "What is this all? What's this?" It's an adult cartoon, basically. That's what I think of Pinocchio. So anyway, sorry
Secret of Nim's good, by the way.
Forgot about that. That was the other movie.
A lot of mice death.
Yeah.
Secret of Nim, but
you must move your house to the lee of the
Pinocchio
stone.
is not an action adventure story.
No, it's
not
this is
a
like
fast-paced kind of thing.
If you're into animation and stop motion animation, I would definitely recommend checking this out. It's probably one of the most.
That's my question.
Intricate, beautiful ones I've ever seen.
You've seen. I mean, you saw Pan's Labyrinth and all the
a lot of
Shape
vibes
of Water
like that
and things like that. Is it obviously Because stop motion, I don't think he's done before. But is it? Can you tell it's Guillermo del Toro? Okay.
Yeah. The minute Pinocchio pops out, you're like, oh, hello.
That's Guillermo del Toro. Okay. Because I like that you know when you're seeing one of his movies because he's got kind of a style.
Well, I mean how he is. He loves the 30s, 20s fascists. Where it's like. Anyway, but it's great. I mean, like I said, not my favorite character, but I can't not give it good remarks.
Cool. I've liked all of his movies, including Pacific Rim. I mean, that's
actually great.
I think he's a good director.
No, he's very talented. Yeah, he's good. I'm excited. So yeah, I think it's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix now.
Yeah, so,
and it's getting a theatrical release. It was
sometime. It already released.
Oh, okay.
And
that's
and it was limited.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was for a couple weeks. So now that's gone now, but you can check it out on Netflix.
All right.
Yeah,
playing now. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Andy's review there. I'm definitely going to be checking it out. If others have or plan to, let us know. We'll be back with more of the For the People Movie Show right after this.
Express your love for her this Christmas by presenting her a piece of diamond jewelry from S.E. Needham Jewelers. Diamond jewelry is a classic gift. A pair of beautiful diamond earrings will add to the sparkle in her eyes. Choose from a large selection of diamond stud earrings, all specially priced for the holidays. Also take advantage of our diamond earring trade-up program. With diamonds direct from Antwerp, Belgium, we offer our integrity price guarantee. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block at the sign of the clock.
The Cash Archers Charity Fun Shoot is this Saturday, December 10th from 9 to 3 at the Cache County Fairgrounds Indoor Arena. Raising money for the Cache Valley Cares for Christmas Foundation, helping families, individuals, and seniors in need this holiday season. Whether you're a pro shooter, just shoot for fun, or want to learn, bring your own equipment and pre-register online at CacheArchers.com. It's the annual Cash Archers Charity Fun Shoot this Saturday, December 10th from 9 to 3 at the Cache County Fairgrounds Indoor Arena. Pre-register at CacheArchers.com.
Weather changes are tough on your transmission. As we move to colder winter weather, AMCO Transmission invites you to bring your vehicle in for preventative maintenance before the snow flies. Have a diesel pickup, Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke? AMCO in Logan is your transmission specialist, and they promise to get you in quickly. For over 50 years, AMCO Total Car Care has been experts in repair for transmissions, brakes, tune-ups, and more. Find your local AMCO at 75 West, 2000 North. Call 752-1940.
Don't forget where we came from.
We have been running our whole lives. Pete, I'm done running. Fly away together. One last time.
Just a bit there from the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer, which, Andy, I have to tell you, as I watched that trailer when it came out last week, I feel like this is going to be a sad Marvel movie.
I think you're right.
Did you get that? I mean, there's a lot of last time talk and a lot of one more time talk and a lot of, we've been gone for a while, but we're back for one last. And then I know, although the trailer, when I can't remember all the characters' names now.
I am Groot.
What is the big guy?
Drax.
When Drax pops the little bunny rabbit kid in the head with the basketball, I laughed out loud in my living room watching that trailer.
No, I agree.
It's going to be as funny as all the others, but it does have this feel of like finality.
It is the last Guardians from James Gunn. I can't imagine that it would be. I mean, they're obviously Avengers, so I don't know what happens, but I would assume that they would be back for some future movie. But who knows? Who knows?
Unless they pop some people off. They've already killed Groot.
Well,
that'd be a repeat.
He's
if they did
back,
that,
yeah.
But the raccoon, man, I'm worried about the raccoon.
Here's a funny thing. So I watched the Guardians Christmas special on Disney Plus.
It's pretty funny.
It was funny. It was actually kind of really tender at the end too. But I saw Groot in that, and I thought, man,
quick bit of trivia: the band, in that scene, an actual band, the old 97s.
Yeah. Saw that.
I just learned that this week.
Yeah, and I also know I saw Groot in that, and I kept thinking, is that a dude in a suit? Because that's what it looked like. It's not.
It looks like a rubber suit.
It's not. And then I thought,
which is kind of cool.
And I thought, is that teenage Groot? Like, is he a little chunky? And then they show him in this, and I was like, I think maybe he might be. Anyway,
it's if you hear the voice, it's Meathead Groot.
Yeah,
this is bodybuilder Groot.
No, it looks
but
good.
It's so funny that CGI has gotten so good that it now looks like a fake rubber costume.
Yeah, agreed. Really quick, because I know we're running out of time here. The other two movies I wanted to just really briefly, I'll do like a little 1 minute review here, but Devotion, fighter pilot movie set in around the time of the Korean War, the Forgotten War, and about the first African American Navy pilot, fighter pilot.
Yeah, this has been done before with World War II, right? George Lucas did it.
Yeah, he did Red Tails.
That's right. Yeah. And what was the other one that?
I'm not sure, but
just a few years ago. Anyway,
this one, I think this movie had a lot of aspirations. It's not a bad movie by any. It's a good movie. I couldn't quite get into it. I think it's got good performances. It's a little, honestly, it's a little corny, I think, sometimes.
Really?
I think it can't decide whether it wants to be corny or serious, and so it kind of suffers from that. But it's a good movie. I can't not recommend it, but it's not going to find its way into any of my lists, or probably not even like the top 10 or 15 movies I've seen this year. So
really,
but again, C+ I think is what I gave it, which is it's above average, but it's not. I wouldn't call it stellar. And then the other movie
is it throwaway? Because that's what I think of these movies kind of as throwaway. They're good, and you don't regret spending the money, but
doesn't really
you're
change.
not going to remember it in a year.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. The other movie we mentioned is playing down in Ogden that was up in Cache Valley for a little bit. It's called Bones and All. Luca Guada, I can't say his last name. It's Italian. Pinocchio. And it's got Timothy Chalamet and I think Taylor Russell. This
is a horror movie.
Yeah. Here, you know what? This is probably the best way for me to describe this movie.
Well, you're pulling that up. I've seen it described on various movie websites as here's one. So Megaplex described it as a romance drama.
I'd call it more romance horror.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes just says straight up horror. Ebert Films called it black humor.
This was my tweet the night I watched it. I just said one thing. I said, Mark Rylance in his tidy whities eating an old lady's corpse and sounding like Herbert from Family Guy is not what I expected in the first 30 minutes of Bones and All.
Well, that's odd.
So do with that what you will.
Well, so how does this lead to? I can't remember his name now. I'm trying to find it, but there's a guy that writes for Ebert.com that's really good because he's not pretentious and he tends to like stuff that a lot of other serious critics don't like, and he's funny. And he described this movie as a must-see, and then his final sentence in his review here: "It's beautiful."
It is.
That will surprise you.
It is. It's
what. What does he mean?
It's real. Boy, that's a tough one. That's
just such an intriguing thing to hear written about a cannibal horror movie.
Yeah, all I can say is go see it.
Okay.
This is the type of movie where someone will say at some point next year or later this year, they'll go, I wish Hollywood would stop making the same crap, and I wish.
And you'll point to this,
and they'll say they don't have any good fresh ideas. Well, here's one.
That's
right. So it is. It's definitely got a couple gory moments, but not like slasher film where it's like almost kind of obscene.
Well, it's the same guy who did
Call Me by Your Name.
Timothy was also in that, so that's obviously...
Yeah, and he just has a way of being like, oh, thank you, I'll never look at that the same again.
Well, and so what? Yeah, we learned that from Call Me by Your Name that he's talented as a director-writer.
He also did Disturbia, the remake.
Which was also...
I just said Disturbia. The Rihanna song.
Rihanna.
Nobody knows that. No, it was Suspiria. Sorry.
Which was also good.
You know what I almost just said right there? Suburbia. I got real problems, folks. I got
Suburbia.
Not enough caffeine today. Not enough caffeine. Hey, next week, you know what? We'll talk the ballot of UFCA,
Utah Film
but
Critics
Avatar
ballot.
will be the big discussion next week. We'll see if my prediction. I'll tell you if I have if my confidence is dwindled or heightened next Friday.
It's we'll know. I don't know. Cameron's got to be sleeping a little restless. Spent a lot of money on this one. All right, For the People Movie Show returns next Friday at 5. Dave Ramsey is next here on KVNU Logan.